Wow, wow, wow. Well, I was hoping for a lower price on Zidansek. Okay, looks like I've missed the boat on that one, so just going to go for a small stake just while it's still above evens. Slow starts haven't been unusual for Zidansek in the last couple of weeks. Oh, the difference between this week and last week is that she's actually recovering this week. So even though I've actually backed Burel, I'd actually prefer a break back here. And if we don't get the break back and she does run away with it, at least the time's not being completely wasted in terms of profit. Oh, I wish I'd back more now. Let's just see if the first poor service game from Zidansek was just down to nerves. Shouldn't be really, she's a more experienced player. Maybe the weight of expectations weighing on her shoulders. price gets back near evens, I'm tempted to just put a little bit more on Burel. Not a huge amount, still be what if I was to double what I've got now, it's about a quarter of the stake that I would allow myself. It's really not a good start from her. Certainly don't want to add at this price. Second serves are hurting, and 1 from 8 so far. bit more at 1.8. Got to be careful, as tennis matches can turn around pretty quickly. I would expect for a single break, if Burel takes a set, we're looking at maybe just under 1.4. Obviously that's going to be lower if she were to win it with a double break or even a bagel, which is looking possible. So the double break probably near 1.3. If there'd been a little bit more competitiveness, is that the right word? From Zidansek, I'd be looking at around about 1.45 to start laying here, but she's not giving me a reason to move away from Burel, sorry. The stake I've got in at the moment is about a quarter of my maximum, so still relatively low numbers. Often when a player goes a double break up, they relax a little bit, and that can be enough to let the opponent back in. See if that happens here. Just looking at Zidansek's service figures, she's won 2 from 11, which by anybody's standards is poor, shockingly poor. Now if her first serve percentage was high, then she wouldn't be hitting as many second serves, so a low percentage on the second serve wouldn't necessarily be a massive issue. But as she's only finding 39% of her first serves, it's a big issue. think that's the first serve, sorry, the first point against the Burel serve. Comeback begins. In terms of value, we're getting to the point where I really shouldn't be staying in too much longer, and should in fact be laying. That would be the right thing to do. I just need to see something from Zidansek. The way things are looking at the moment, I can sit here and do nothing and collect 180 quid. If we don't see a turnaround in this set, so often in men's and women's tennis, to be fair, a second set can completely change the momentum. It can be completely different to the first set. Not unusual, it's not common, but it's not unusual to get a 6-love, 6-1 first set and then the same score but to the other player, and then a tie break in the third. It's just the end of a set, start of a new one is a major momentum changer. Not always, obviously. See, we're pretty much at set price now. Probably should be at least hedging or removing the liability and leaving the free bet on Burel. But this is about as one-sided a set as you're going to see, and it's gonna take so much for her to change this in the second set. It will happen. No, it can happen. You can watch a first set and think she has got no chance, I can let this one run. And then all it takes is for the player who's won the first set easily to relax a little bit at the start of the second set. The player who's behind is suddenly a break up in the second set, gets a bit of confidence back, and can take the second set. So you've got to be careful. This has been awful though. She's increased her first serve percentage a little bit in this game. 2 from 11 on second serves. Wow. 2 more break points. I'm pushing my luck now to stay in. Really should look to... Let's go for the free bet. It wouldn't take a great deal for Burel's price to go up. And the right thing to do would be to lay. I need to see a service hold before I do that though. try a lay with the profit. We certainly don't want any red on Burel at the moment. Okay, finally wins a game. So a few layers have popped up now. Thinking this is the comeback, and they could be right. No liability, so I'm going to just wait and see. Now, is this my Amazon delivery or is it next door's? Come on, hurry up while it's changeover. Messing about in his van. So is this the stage where it changes? Well, 15. She's gonna get a break point. She's got a second serve. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Well, that wasn't much of a momentum shift, was it? Let's put us back where we were at free bet. Same price. Now I would think that Zidansek would be... She's going to be cheesed off that she didn't take advantage of that love 30. She's probably going to write this set off now and just possibly let this next service game go. Depends how much she wants to serve first in the next set. Not that that's been much of an advantage in this one. Try a little lay on the next one. Burel serving for the set. Not a huge amount of pressure on her with a double break lead. Assuming Zidansek holds. Second serve, 3 from 14 so far. She actually won one. Where are we going? Let's try it 146. It is a final. Burel's going to feel the pressure surely in this next game. Nothing to lose for Zidansek. She should be having a swing at these next few points. Here we go, bit of pressure again. Can she take advantage this time? Is this going to be one of these matches where a player just gets so close all the time, just doesn't get there? It's easy to throw away existing profit by thinking that they're getting close, they're going to get the breakthrough, and then they don't, so each time you lose a little bit of profit. Big point here. Ooh, break point. First of the match. And a second serve. She's 8 from 12, so doing well on second serves, but pressure on this one. It's a good return. There we go, that's the break. Zidansek's numbers on serve, excuse me, improving slightly but still not great. 65% points won on her first serve. She's over 50% of her first, getting the first serves in. She really has to get the first serves in. 4 from 15 on a second serve. Face 7 break points, broken twice. Let's give her a chance to hold in this one. If she can somehow find the hold here, we're not in a bad position with the lay. It's a big if though. She's doing alright, 30 love. What she doesn't need to start doing now is thinking about, I'm still in this, I'm back in this, because she's going to get tight again. Now a hold to love would put a bit of pressure back on Burel. Okay. Hold to 15 would also put a bit of pressure on. Come on, close this out. There we go. Again, I'm going to do nothing with that. We've got no liability. if Zidansek can get a break in this next game, it's going to be a really nice price move in our favour. Got to be in it to win it. We're not risking anything. As I mentioned earlier in the match, I've only got, well, I haven't got any liability now, but the liability was no higher than 200, which is a quarter of my full stake. A lot of the time I won't get close to 800 liability. 400, 500 is about the average. So this is a low stakes one. As you can see, you're still, I mean, I could run away now with 94 quid. For 38 minutes work. Stream's frozen again. Okay, do we get a bigger payout? That's a better start for her. Frozen again. Let's not bother with that. She's doing better now. We'll just hedge it there. I think it's worth a lay. Excuse me, it's worth a lay in the next set. Zidansek more competitive towards the end of the set. Didn't expect it to be back at 4-5. Zidansek will be serving first in set 2. I'm not going to lay until she's had a service game. I think that would be pushing my luck more than enough. So 1.4 for the set. Burel's first serve percentage only 43, actually lower than Zidansek's, but she's won 9 out of the, oh, they've just updated, 9 out of 11 on her first serve, 9 out of 14 on her second, which is reasonable. Zidansek 5 out of 17 on second serve, 14 out of 20 on first serve, which is pretty good, 54% of first serves in. Burel faced just the 1 break point, which was converted. Zidansek faced 7, broken twice. So certainly with this slight change in momentum towards the end of that set, it's worth a lay here. I'm just not sure I want to risk laying now when Zidansek's going to be serving. Although I can lay for 200 with practically no liability. It'll be a decent price move if Zidansek does hold. Towards the end, hold to 30, hold to 15. Sod it, let's lay. Let's do it. So we're in at 42. Only a 5 liability if she does get broken. If it's not an absolutely, if it's not a really easy break of serve, I may lay Burel if she gets the break here. If it's an easy one, I might not bother. Might not bother. Come on, let's have some fight. Should have stuck with the original plan. What a moron. What a moron. Do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? Risky to do what I'm doing now, backing at 30 love. But if Zidansek has lost the fight, I'm going to clear that because I would only get matched if the point went against me. Wow. Wowza, wowza, wowza. I've been thinking quite a lot recently about how much profit I give back by over trading matches. And when I went through my figures, instead of tempted to lay if she gets to juice, what I usually find is I'll get a reasonable amount of profit if things go my way at the start of the match, and that actually often I would be better just walking away with that profit. And if I continue to trade and look for maybe lower value entries and taking them because I've already got existing profit, so I'm not risking my bank, I would only make small amounts extra, but potentially there were times I could be sat with £200-300 profit after 3 or 4 games, and then skillfully trade that down to 100 profit or even 0, and occasionally a loss, which is mental. So I think if you're gonna take trades using existing green, you still need to look for decent value. So what I'm going for here is that, oh God, setting a break can change momentum. This is definitely a case of over trading a match. So little pressure on the Burel serve, but a change of set and definitely a set and a break. can be the points in matches where the momentum changes, but it's not every time, so you've got to take your chances. Less risky to do it if you've got profit, but you've got to be prepared to lose some of that profit. And I think where it gets to me the most is when I keep in my head a running total of how the day's going. So if, say, I thought, what did I have, 94 I could have hedged for, so maybe that took me to 250 for the day. If I think right, I've got 250 for the day, and then I end up getting nothing from this one, you can try and find the positive that I didn't lose anything, but in my mind I've lost £100. If that makes sense. Anyway, got a bit of pressure here. She's going to take it, change that momentum. Oh, that's a big point. That's a big point. Is it overtrading if you take a value entry? It's not, is it? That's what we're about. We look for value entries, regardless of what our current position is or the result on the match is. There we go, setting a break. Changes momentum. I always talk to myself during matches anyway. You might as well listen in. I occasionally say something useful, I'm sure. Come on, don't mess this up. What? You're not going out again? You've been out once. Every time I move, the dog thinks we're going out. Come on, get 40 here. Don't take the profit off me just yet. Good girl. Finish the job. Now we're cooking. Now, why does setting a break change momentum? Reason being, you've got a player is a set and a break ahead, so she thinks she's got it won. She's taking the first set, she's taking the first break in the second. So now she's thinking about winning, and in this case, winning the title, winning the trophy, everything else that goes with it. And all of a sudden, 2 games later, she's 2-1 down. And a little bit of panic can get into their heads. think I'm going to lose this if I'm not careful. Let's see how she responds to it in the next service game. Now, as Zidansek started around about 1.6, I think. Didn't see the opening price because I was a little bit late to the match, as you could see. Still getting the stats window over and everything. I think it was about 1.6. If she can get a break here, we're going to be round about evens or better, I think. Or is that ambitious? Let's hope we find out. Obviously an option here is to take the profit. But we're not risking anything. If it looks like Burel's having an easy hold, then I probably will exit. Got a second serve. Let's look at set 2 stats. Not from 4 on a second serve so far, but she's won that one, which is a bit disappointing. Let's try and take 99. Nothing stopping you getting back in if the situation's right. Yeah, that was a good choice. Looks like an easy hold. Okay, so I'm not going to get the easy change in momentum. Well, we got a fair bit, 125 to 148. Better than a kick in the teeth. Now it's at this point where I need to be careful of overtrading. The thoughts that I would be having, well, I am having now, I am trading it, that Burel's weathered the tiny storm of the Zidansek comeback. Although she hasn't held yet. I'll be a bit irritated if she does get broken. Good. So I could think she's weathered the storm and then maybe back at 250 there, get 200 out of it, 150 liability, but it's not a good value entry. The lay here, Zidansek serving. Where are we? Broken to 30 in the first game, then an easy hold to 15. So if we get an easy hold here, that will increase the confidence in her. But you just don't know. It's a middle of the road price at the moment. No real value. Set price, remember, was 1.4 on Burel. So we're not a million miles away from that. It's just shifted slightly towards Zidansek, and she is definitely serving better now. 58% first serves in, 6 from 8 on a first serve, 2 from 5 on the second, which isn't shocking, 1 from 6 on second serves for Burel. First serve's doing really well, but she's only finding that first serve 50% of the time. So there has been a shift in momentum in this set. Just need to pick the right time to get in. And as soon as you think she's doing it, she'll struggle on serve. This next one could be an important point. Yeah, she's definitely improving in this one. And really it's the momentum that she started to pick up towards the end of that first set. It had a bit of a stutter when she got broken at the start of the second set. But she's fought back well. Make sure you've got the what if function turned on your software. You can see there it just tells you what your liability would be if I laid there for 200. Leaves me 1459 red on Burel, 299 green. At that price, 32. $3-2, so they've got a change of ends. So I'm thinking there has been a change in momentum. It's only a slight change. Zidansek pre-match favourite. So the market, if she starts showing signs of taking this set, the market's going to be all over it. It's really going to favour her. Take her down to probably 1.7 if she took the set. I don't think she's been impressive enough to get back to starting price. I'm going to try a little lay there. I'm not going to use, well, I am going to use all my liability. 59p risked. 249 on Zidansek. If I wasn't seeing any signs of change of momentum, I'd just take the 100 and move on to the next match. Or in this case, go and have lunch. But because I am seeing definite signs of a turnaround or potential turnaround, it's worth having a go when you haven't got to risk any of your bank. And I think if this turns into an easy hold for Burel, then I'm done for this match. So no pressure Zidansek, now or never. That's a good start. Can she keep going? Come on. Come on, pay for the curries. No, not you, Charlie. Lie down. Love 30. Oh, Molly thinks we're going out now. We're not going out. Lie down. You've been out once. Stare at me all you want. We ain't going anywhere. So we're back to evens. Easily at evens. Just at love 30, almost. Real pressure. Well, here we go. I was going to say real pressure on Burel. And a break to love. Awesome. So let's switch 100 back to Burel. So 99 on her, 162. Now there's no guarantee. I've got more green on Zidansek. There's absolutely no guarantee that this match is going to be won by her. So the problem I have with it's not a free bet. I could have left a larger free bet of 250, which would have been worth leaving. The way I've left that, I'm thinking 133, and I can walk away and know that I've got 133. More often than not, I hedge at this in this situation because I think for an extra 25 quid to know, I'd like to know when I walk away what I'm getting from that match. When it's on the pre-match favourite, it's tempting to leave it at least to the end of the set. And while I'm blabbering on, she's doing okay, so we'll just let this come down a bit more. I'm amazed she's getting back near her start price. And I think if she gets another point here, I'm going to be very tempted to hedge it. And of course, she doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. Different situation to a free bet here because I've got a reasonable return if Burel comes back. And now I wished I hedged. That's what I'm gonna do. I know what I've got. It's a result thinking about the liability that I've had during the match of 200. That's how fast it can turn around. 30 love to break point. Just see the end of this game and then it's lunchtime. Won't be touching this one again. I'm going to listen to my thoughts on overtrading, and I think after this game it would be difficult to find solid value unless a player goes a break ahead, for example in the third set. But it would be a case of only entering really because I had existing green, and having reviewed my figures, it's better in the long run that I take this. Move on, have some lunch. Reasonable return to say I've only used a quarter of what I would allow myself. I think other than the first entry was bad value, because I was backing Burel when she had love 40 against the Zidansek serve, but that's why I really dropped the stakes. I only used £100, which is an eighth of my maximum liability. It was still over evens, that's why I got in when I did rather than wait for the break, and it was just in case she ran away with it. It's so irritating when you're waiting for something to happen. In this case, at the start of the match, I wanted a lower price. I think I wanted about 1.35, 1.4, so that I could lay, because I did favour Burel to win, but knew it was going to be close. And Burel breaks back. That's me done for that one. I'll see you on the next one.